All right, welcome to the last video in this chapter. This is section 6, and in this section we're going to be going over some word problems. So first and foremost, let's list a couple of phrases that we know that go with our inequalities. This symbol beginning here to the left, this is a less than symbol. So let's think of a couple of phrases that would mean less than. All right, so our next symbol, this is the greater than symbol. So first and foremost, the phrase greater than would go with this. So now to our other symbols, we've got the less than or equal to symbol, and then we've got the greater than or equal to symbol. Now, the phrases that go with these sometimes get a little bit confusing because for example, this first one, this is a less than symbol, so a lot of people would associate this with the phrase at least because they think less than at least. Okay, those must go together, and actually it's the exact opposite. I mean, when you think about it for a second, at least means that we need to be higher than a specific amount. So if I say, I need to earn at least $50 this week so that I can pay my cell phone bill or something like that. That means at the minimum, I need $50, but more than 50 would be very welcome. So if you think about it that way, at least needs to go with the greater than symbol because I'd like more, but at the minimum, I need to have this certain amount, okay? So another one that I just said is minimum. And no less than. These all go together when you're talking about greater than values, okay? And then on the contrary, let's talk about the less than or equal to symbol. This one should be at most, okay? And we have a maximum and no more than. Okay, so these are just a couple of phrases for these 4 symbols that might help you when you are solving word problems. All right, so number 49, the average value of U.S. farm cropland has steadily increased in recent years. In the year 2000, the average value was $1,490 per acre. Okay, I'm going to circle that because it seems like that might be some important information. Since then, the value has increased at least, well, hold on a second, increased, that implies some kind of operation, so we'll come back to that in a second. An average of $77 per acre per year. We need to write an inequality to show land values above the average for farmland. All right, so right away in your head, you should be thinking, $77 per acre, if we're talking some certain amount per size of land, this right away should, in your head, remind you of slope because we're talking about a rate. This is a ratio, some kind of rate at a certain amount. So we have $77 per year. I'm going to use Y for my variable when I'm talking about years. And it started off at 1,490, so plus 1,490. Okay, so we're almost done. We just need to figure out which inequality symbol we need, and we need to choose a variable to represent land value. Well, when I say land value, V value, I'm just going to use V as my variable for land value. And then as far as which inequality I should use, we said that the value has increased at least an average of that amount. So if we're talking at least, let's look up at the list we created. Which inequality goes with at least? This one right here. All right. So we need the greater than or equal to symbol. Okay. So we're done with this one. All we needed to do is write an inequality. It doesn't say to solve it, so we can move on. Number 50. All right, Troop 200 sold cider and donuts to raise money for charity. Awesome. They sold small boxes of donut holes. So we have donut holes for $1.25. Okay. They also sold cider for $2.50 a gallon. Okay, so we're going to have two variables here. We need a variable to represent our donut holes and a variable to represent our cider. So, I don't know, D and C, donuts and cider. In order to cover their expenses, they needed to raise at least, oh hey, here's one of our words, at least $100. Okay, so write and graph an inequality that represents the situation. So first we need to write an inequality. So we have $1.25 for every donut hole, so per D times D. Per always implies multiplication. And, so plus $2.50 for every gallon of cider. So 250 C. Okay? And we need at least $100. So once again, let's look up here. Oh, hey, look, at least. We're going to use that same symbol again. So greater than or equal to 100. Okay. We have a second step to this problem. We need to graph it as well. So you can do this one of two ways. You can either put this into slope-intercept form, and if you're going to do that, look at your graph. This donut holes, I guess your D is on your x-axis, and your cider C is on your y-axis. So if you were going to put this into slope-intercept form, I would solve for C. Okay, so you could do it that way, and if you'd like to try it that way, you go right ahead. Or you can use the hideaway method. Remember we talked about the hideaway method? Just like when it was in standard form when we were back in chapter 4, you could cover up one of these and then solve 125D is greater than or equal to 100, so you divide by $1.25 and find D, and that would be your intersect on D here. This axis, and then you do the same thing, cover up this one and solve for C, and that would be your intersect right here. Okay, so I'm gonna let you pause the video right now, and I want you to try to graph this on your own. I'm gonna use the hideaway method. Everything above this line. Okay, good enough. All right, last one, 51. In 2006, the median yearly family income was about $48,200 per year. Suppose the average annual rate of change, oh hey, rate of change, this is a rate, this is a slope. So the rate of change since then has been $1,240 per year. So here we go. Let's put this into slope-intercept form. If this is our slope, we have y equals mx plus b. Our slope is going to be here, this 1240, and b is the intersect, so basically where it started off at, and in this year, 2006, it started off at 48,200, so that's going to be b. All right, so now we need to just take those two numbers and plug them in so that we have an equation that is in slope-intercept form. So part A, write and graph an inequality. Y, not equals, we're talking inequality, so I'm going to skip that right now. M is 1,240 times x plus B, which is 48,200. All right, now, as far as which inequality symbol we need, let's read. For the annual family income Y that are less than the median for X years. Okay, so we need less than. Less than. Here we go. Ding, ding, ding. Less than symbol. Okay. All right, so next thing we need to do is to graph. So let's graph this in slope-intercept form since we're already in slope-intercept form. This is your y-intercept, so 48,200. So that's going to be a little bit above 48,000, not too much because the next point is to 50, and that's $2,000 more. We only need 200 more. So I don't know, if I had to guess, I would say like right about there. Okay? And this is slope, so rise over run. We need to go up about $1,200 over one year. Okay. All right. So from 48 to 50, we've got 2,000. So we don't want to completely go up to 50 yet. We only want to go up maybe like right about here. If you wanted to be exactly precise, you could use your calculator. Okay, so with our calculator, we would take $48,200 because that's what we start off with, and a year has gone by, so it needs to increase 1240. So we need to graph our next point at 49,440. So almost to 50, but not quite, and over 1. About right there. Okay, let's graph a couple more so we get a good graph of our line. So another year goes by and we need to add another 1240. So now we need to graph a point at 50,680. All right. So another year goes by and we're going to graph again like right about here. Okay. Let's keep going. One more year goes by, 1240. Now we need to graph a point at 51,920, so almost to 52. Another year goes by, we're almost there, we're like right there. All right, so I think these points should be plenty. Let's go ahead and draw in our line, but first, do we need a solid or a dashed line? We need a dashed line. Okay, so and then we're talking y is less than, so we need to shade in below. Okay guys, the last part, part B, determine whether each of the following points is part of the solution set. So basically we want to determine if each one of these is an answer to this inequality. You can do this one of two ways. These are ordered pairs. So you could find them on the graph and determine if they are within the shaded region, and if they are, then they are an answer. Another way that you could do it is to plug in, if this is an ordered pair, this is x comma y, you could plug in x for this equation and see what you get for y. So this first one, 251,000. So 2 and 51,000 is going to be up here, and it is not in the shaded region. So I would say no, but just to double check, let's plug it into the equation and see what happens. So we want 1,240 times x. The x here is 2. So let's do 1,240 times 2. And then we need to add 48,200. And we get, oops, there's a glare, 50,680. So we checked it both ways, and it didn't work either way, so no. Let's just go down. 50,000. So over to 5, and 50,000 is right here. It looks to me like it's in the shaded area. We could double check that by doing the math. So we'd have 1240 times, whoops, not times 4, times 5, and then add 48,200 is, okay, this y, 50, is it less than the amount we got? It sure is, so this one does work. This would be a solution. Let's try the next one. 8 and 69,200, so that's going to be, oh, that's totally completely off of the graph. The y-axis doesn't even go up that high. So no, we don't have to keep checking with the math at this point. And then 10, 61,000. I still don't think that one's going to work either. So I think the only solution that would be part of our answer, part of our solution set, is going to be this one down here. Okay? All right. So that's it. When you come to class on Monday, we're going to work on some more word problems, so have no fear. All right. I'll see you guys in class.